What's up, fam? We got to dive into the markets. Still getting a little bit of choppy chop. This means we still have opportunity. We got some things we got to cover today. We're going to be breaking it down. I went live last night. Let me know if any of you that are in the stream at the moment, were you with us when we were live last night? We're going to be doing a lot more lives, different times of the day. Make sure your notification bells are turned on. I am retweeting this right now. Let's go ahead and just repost that just as it is. On Twitter. We are live on Twitter as well as on YouTube. It's time to dive into it. I want to see everybody. If you are here, if you're here, of course, live in chat, let me know. Are you bullish or bearish on the price action today? Do you think we're going to get a little bit of a shakeout further down? Do you think it's just going to be in the same range? Do you think we're actually going to start pushing to the upside? Let me know your thoughts. Let's go ahead and get into this. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. It's time to dive into these charts. It's time to dive into these signals. Let's get after it. Let's go. What's up? Oh, camera. Camera is switched. Let me go ahead and switch this camera back. I forgot that I was boom, boom. There we are. Boom. What's up? I was live from my place last night. I didn't have my cable for my video camera, but here we are. We're back into it. We're talking about what's going on here. As I switch through these screens, you'll have to see I'm going to be switching the camera on each one. I just realized this as I went live, but it's okay. We got the price action still sitting in these same zones. Basically, we kind of pushed up into that. What was it? The sort of, where is it at? Boom, turn that off. Okay. We kind of pushed up into that 64, almost 65K region. That 65K region is that one area we've been really keeping an eye on for, that next potential large move in price action. Once we clear that, I do think we're going to get a pretty big move to the upside. So let's keep an eye on that because we're getting some absolute monstrous signals, and we've been talking about it for a few days. We got to make sure that we're staying attuned to what's going on. We're not getting chopped out, because is it time to buy Bitcoin? Is it time to buy crypto? Is the time already past? What is going on with the price action? And I'm here to tell you the best is yet to come. So we got to dive into that. We're going to talk about that. We got a couple of different charts we're going to be going through as well as a bunch of TA, going through a bunch of different stuff here. I'm just giving you a little bit of a preview, but let's go ahead and talk about it, because Bitcoin is sitting here at that $63,700, $63,800 mark. And what does that mean as to what's going on? Because we're seeing some big things move. Look, say is up 24%, almost 75% in the last 7 days. WorldCoin up 38% in the last 7 days, almost 17% overnight. Popcat also making some moves. Starknet making some moves. Chainlink. How many link holders we have out there? We're seeing some nice movement on this. Ondo also pushing up 7.8%. And the list goes on. We're seeing some nice movement within these markets. So we got to talk about what we need to be doing and where we're at in this market cycle so we don't get left behind, because we are coming in. Yes, we are above the short-term holder cost basis, but if we come over here, let me click this 6 times for it to work. There we go. We're sitting right here in the same zone. You see this zone sideways, see this zone kind of down and then a little bit up, essentially sideways. And then, of course, this early cycle way back here, 2013, we, of course, just rocketed right up. However, the market cap was much smaller. So these are the two that we're really looking at as an analog for what's going on. But we're sitting here right at this previous all-time high, still chopping in this range. But we got some monster signals that we have to look at, and we're going to be discussing here in just a moment. Shout out to everybody that is tuned in. We got about 100 people here at the moment, and I know we're going to have a few hundred more here pile in just a few moments. I do want to shout out, if you are tuned in on the Twitter, even if you're tuned in actually here on YouTube as well, this stream right here, time to buy crypto. You can see it right here. Come over here, hit that retweet button, hit that like button, show some love. You will be entered to win. Basically, we do cash giveaways, we do merchandise giveaways, we do membership giveaways. It always kind of varies each week. We pick a random day of the week, and then we pick a random person. It wasn't last week, I was in Singapore. The week before, I think we drew like 3 names. So get active in participating, not only in being here, and help spreading the word by, sharing this with your friends and family, letting people you like this kind of content. Now, when we get back over here, this is what we're talking about today, because is it time to buy crypto? Well, let's look at it. Coming back over here, I don't know. That's not the right post. Here we go. Lady of Crypto. I had the pleasure of meeting her out there in Singapore. Lovely, lovely soul. And right here, this is what we all need to be paying attention to. The last time the U.S. and China cut rates and turned on the printers, it led to the biggest bull runs in history. Now they're doing it again. I think Q4 will be good, but 2025, that's what we're all keeping our eyes on right now is 2025. And I think it will be nothing like we've ever seen. Why is this? Because right now, it's not just the fact that the market's in a position that we've seen historically pushes into the most bullish phase of the cycle, but we also have some of the most strong fundamental changes and shifts and supports and capital access channels that we've ever seen it's in the crypto market. It's in this case specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's bringing all eyes onto the crypto market. It's being talked about on a daily level in the election cycle, discourse and debates and talking points and so on and so forth. But we're also seeing that huge amount of appetite early Q1 and then also Q2 with institutional buyers absolutely aping into Bitcoin. And then we see that we now have derivatives also and options that are going to be available on the Bitcoin spot ETFs. In addition to that, we're seeing huge amounts of allocations from whales stacking into the positions that are essentially right now. People are saying, are we at an all-time high? How could we be at an all-time high? Meaning, is this a cycle top is really what I'm meaning to say. Are we near a cycle top? How could it be if whales are stacking in at this level? Whales don't stack in at tops. Whales stack in before the boat gets to running. So that's what we're talking about right now. And we need to pay attention to the fact that all signs, all signals that could indicate bullish strength coming are flashing. And in addition to that, now we have the benefit of all these new capital channels. And are we at that flippening of the narrative, of the understanding, of the appetite for big market players, big money players, corporations, institutions, and governments to start changing their tune on how they're going to be allocated, whether they are going to be allocated or not, and then how much they're going to be allocated to this life-changing, future augmenting market. So coming back over to this, we got to go through some of these. I will be going a little bit short today. We're going to be ending at 12:15. I'm going to send you over to Blockchain Basement where get in there. For those of you that have your notifications turned on here on BitLab, but also on Blockchain Basement, they may be doing a little bit of a giveaway for those that are there early. Just giving you guys a little bit of heads up. I will be doing a Spaces with Mario in the fall at 12:15. So that's why we're going to be ending a little early. Now, coming right here, this is what it's all about. Bitcoin and risk assets rally as global liquidity hits $131.6 trillion. Global liquidity, $131.6 trillion. This is monstrous. Now, global liquidity continues to rise with the notable increase of $1.426 trillion. Again, that is an increase of 1.426. So $1,426 billion over the last week. This isn't, oh my God, over the last quarter. This isn't over the last year. In the last week, the global liquidity has upticked $1.42 trillion. Now, while this is not going to have an immediate impact in markets, this is the fuel that's going into the cars so that we can drive up that mountain of love. That's what we're all here for. If you guys can get behind that, if you guys have been waiting around, if you've ridden through the bear market, if you've ridden through this chop, throw a 1 in chat if you're ready for these bulls to take over and start running, because the signs and the signals and the life that is here is about to get super quadruple double, super fragilistic expialidocious exciting. So let's be here for it. Let's do this together. Now, this is the thing right here. A notable increase, $1.426 trillion in the last week. And some people are worried that we're maybe we're near a cycle top. You're out of your mind if you think that. Bringing the total value to an astounding $131.6 trillion global liquidity. The ROC metric has crossed into positive territory, and all of our liquidity charts are currently showing it positive signals, a trend that shows no signs of slowing down. No signs of slowing down for the fuel that's going into the car. And you're wondering, can we drive up the mountain? We got the mud tires on. We got the engine souped up. We got the oil changed. We got the fuel in the fire so that we can burn this motherfucker to the top. And we are here for it. Man, let's talk about it. Shout out Crypto Crank in the house, Sawtooth Hiker, Chris Cruz, One House Productions, Andy D. We got the crew, we got the fam, we got 350 people in here between Twitter and YouTube. Again, I want to shout out, we got a bunch of really great signals we're looking at today. Make sure you come over to at Kelly Kellum. And on this tweet right here, go and retweet this. You get entered to win. Again, it could be $100 USDT. It could be free memberships. It could be a couple of these Arculus that we've been getting out, different merchandise. We basically draw a random day of the week, and then we draw a random person. Last time we did a giveaway, we did 3. So get in there, get active, spread this out to your friends and family. I do appreciate it. Again, hit that like button early in the stream. We got, what is that? 31 likes and 1 dislike. Thank you for the engagement, Mr. Dislike. But coming on here, let's look at these signals because the ROC metric has crossed into positive territory, and all of our liquidity charts and currently showing positive signals, a trend that shows no signs of slowing down. These developments align closely with our current expectations. A key factor in the rise of global liquidity has been the drop in the MOVE index. Less uncertainty, this is the key. Less uncertainty means stronger appetite for risk. Less uncertainty in bond markets leads to fewer haircuts on collateral, resulting in more lending, which in turn boosts our liquidity index. Even though today China cut its 14-day RRR reverse repo, I think that's I'm not really sure what RRR rate is, to tell you the truth, from 1.95% to 1.85%. They have continued injecting a higher amount of liquidity, especially since the Fed cut its rate. A 50 basis point reduction in funds rate is a clear sign that the Fed wants to ease. Ease means get some money back in the market. Money back in the market means more money to spend, means more risk appetite, which means the dollar likely starts pulling back, and the risk markets out there, equities, Bitcoin, and those altcoins you've been holding start to see some absolute pumpage. Let me go ahead and I got it bookmarked. Okay, I just want to make sure that's saved. Now, coming back to this next on-chain chart. This is a mastery chart right here. This is from Axel Adler Jr. Shared this in the short that I did today. For the past 6 months, volatility has continued to compress, meaning things haven't been very volatile. The rate at which price has been changing is constricted over a period of time to where there's not much volatility. Okay. And an alert has appeared on the chart for the 5th time in Bitcoin's history, a prolonged period of low volatility, meaning price isn't moving that much. We've seen the last 6 months, prices from 74,000 down to, we had that quick washout down, but we've essentially been consolidating sideways since March 13th. A prolonged period of low volatility creates the conditions for a strong price movement ahead. Now, this, of course, an expansion of volatility could be to the upside. It could be to the downside. But when you look at the never-ending stack of dominoes falling in favor of the bulls, the probabilities lead, especially when you look at where we're at in the market cycle, post-halving, what happens after this consolidation? Up, after this consolidation, up, after this consolidation, up. Now, this does not mean there's not going to be any price action move to the downside. We very well, and I've been talking about this for about 2 months, we very well could have an impulse up, a very quick washout down, V-shaped recovery that just wrecks people that are not paying attention, or if they're only paying attention to the emotions of the moment. We are here in this market. Let's say it. We are here in this market to make money, to change our lives, to expand the capital we have, to improve the ability to affect the lives of ourselves, to our friends, to our families, to be a better impact on the world, because we don't want to be a slave to the basically devaluation of our time spent, which is the US dollar. That's why I'm involved with Bitcoin. That's why I'm involved with altcoins. Yes, these have different utilities and technologies. But at the end of the day, I'm here to make money, and I'm here on YouTube. I'm here on Twitter. I'm here on all these socials to share with all of you the different tools, the mechanisms, the resources, and this positive community that we built together so that we can grow in this new world together, this new world of opportunity, this new world of freedom. And in order to do that, we got to look at these charts and realize nothing is guaranteed. And because all the signs point to up, that doesn't mean you go 100x long in this moment, because we still have a little bit of work to do before we get there. So is it time to buy Bitcoin? It's been time to buy Bitcoin for the last 14 years. There's never been a bad time in history to buy Bitcoin. The question is, what's your time horizon? And if you're asking on a midterm time frame, can I make money soon? Absolutely, you can. And this is all about what your strategy is in the process, because we're getting the rate cuts, we're getting printers turned back on, and this has led to huge bull runs historically. And we see the risk. We see the $1.4 trillion that's printed in the last week, just in the last week. What's to come? What's to come is the question. And this is what we saw on the compression of the volatility. When the signal flashes, boom, move to the upside, consolidation. Flash very briefly here, move to the upside, a little consolidation. Flash again right here. This was truly the start of the parabolic uptrend. So why didn't these have parabolic uptrends here? Well, there's other market conditions considering things like the market cycle structure. The halving was roughly about right here. So we had the halving, we had the end of the bear market, we had the consolidation, a little bit of the sort of shaking out of uncertainty, and then you get that volatility signal of compression, and then you have all conditions met for the market to turn to the upside. Similarly, what was this? This is most important right here. What is this? This right here, this zone. This is last summer. This is basically April through September. Price action ranged about $7,000 sideways. But then we got this compression and volatility after this period of just sideways action. And then, boom, we get this move to the upside. Now we have the benefit of where we're at in the market cycle of having the halving that just happened roughly about right here. Okay? So not only do we have the halving, now we also have the compression on this volatility, giving us the signal again. I am super bullish on this. I couldn't be more excited, and I hope you are too. Now, I just want to make sure I'm checking in with the chat here. Shout out to Alexander G. I think I saw it here a second ago, sending a super chat sticker. There's just boom, boom, boom. This is what I see when I see this because of this. It says pair character bowing down, saying thank you. Well, thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much, Alexander G, the best crypto mod in existence in the world. Now, let's go continue on here. If you think the network is dead, you are mistaken. On average, Bitcoin generates around $571 million in profits each day compared to $115 million in losses. The net average profit investors are making let me read this again. The net average profit investors are making is measured at $456 million a day. That's subtracting some of the losses. What we're looking at here is the profits along the way, which is the green, and the people taking losses along the way. So isn't it incredible? This is why it's so important to understand what your strategy is. I could be making a killing in this market while some of you lose your life savings. I could lose money while some of you make money, because every decision you make in this market is hinged on what's your time horizon, what's your risk matrix, basically your risk tolerance. Why are you taking a trade? Why are you taking a buy, a sell, an investment, a scalp trade, a long trade, a swing trade, a position? All these things have different impacts as to what your goals are with all of this. And you can see, look at this. A lot of profits were taken as this hit basically broke through the previous all-time high, established a new all-time high. And because we had $3.6 billion in profits taken, it did lead to a little bit of weakness in the market. But this also had to do with us overshooting the all-time high pre-halving. It also has to do with the price action being roughly about where the two previous all-time highs were and needing a little bit of a cool-off period, because look at this massive move we had. We need a little bit of a cool-off period. When you have massive moves, especially before the real parabolic uptrend kicks off, you need a little period of consolidation, which in itself is a correction. Having price action go sideways is a correction. It's moving capital from the people trading emotionally. It's moving capital from people that are impatient to the patient. So just be aware of this. There's a lot of activity that's still going on, but it's with a very small percentage of people that are in the market. And we haven't even gotten the new people coming into the market yet. That's what's so excited about this. Jumpman says sometimes the best trade is no trade. And that is absolutely true. Sometimes you just need to sit on your hands. I'm kind of jumping in and out of trades. And here I was just in a little bit of a trade here, got stopped out. But we're going over these trades on a daily basis. We're sharing signals on a daily basis. And there's going to be a lot more trading activity as well in that free traders group, which by the way, is in the pinned comments Let me go ahead. I'm going to share this on the Twitter as well. This is the link that you're going to want to go to. Where is it at? Boom. It's commented right below this video. Get in there. You can join for free. We got free education coming in there as well, but we have so many different signals. Several pro traders sharing stop losses, entries, exits, take profit levels, and different charts, and so much more in here. Is this not okay? It's still going good. But that it's right there in the comments there. This is where you join right here. You have to basically just sign up through CoinW with us, deposit $100 USDT that you get. It's not ours. It's your money that you get to trade with us on. We've been giving out. We sent out $250 as a bonus. We sent out several $50 bonuses for people that are actively in there trading, participating, and getting involved. So just keep your eyes peeled on that. But we got a couple more charts, and we're going to look at some technical analysis. We're going to break down some stuff. While we're doing this, I want all of you to drop 2 coins in the chat that you'd like to see some TA on, and we'll try to get through as many as possible here in a few minutes. And again, we are going to be wrapping a little early, about 12:15. So about 15 to 25 minutes or so. So we got some time yet still. There is still very high probability that as the price approaches $73,000 level, we will see a large influx of new liquidity in the futures market, followed by a strong price movement. At least this has happened in the past. Right now, the goal is to push the price towards all-time high. We have to allow the price action to go either direction. We cannot be biased by wanting it to go there because we're tired of waiting. I still think there is, I talked about it last night on a Spaces I was on with Crypto Face and Crypto Billy and a bunch of that crew, Jenna X and Randy Hipper, Miss Team Crypto. There's a lot of us on there. Army Piper, Tradefly, all of us are on there. But you have to consider that there's still a possibility, as bullish as I am, there's still a possibility this comes up into the zone, comes down, everybody thinks it's going to go up, and then flushes down and does something like this, sideways, and then absolutely launches. It doesn't have to just break the 65K mark that we've been waiting on and then come in here and then break out, boom, launch. Now, there's so much bullishness. I still think that is quite possible, but this is why we got to look at these charts on a daily basis, because things can change in a moment. When Bitcoin lights the fire, let me say this, when Bitcoin lights the fire, decides to move, if you're not there, you're going to get left behind. Because when this market moves, I've seen this in the last 3 cycles I've been a part of. When it makes the decision, the liquidity is there, and it decides to make that move to the upside, you get these absolute God candles. And in the past, it could have been $1,000. $1,000 candle now in Bitcoin is not even a topic of conversation. We are going to see this cycle $5,000, $10,000, I think in some cases $20,000 candles. This will be on the daily or the 3-day basis. Maybe it's not going to be on an hourly basis, but we are going to see some very big moves that happen very quickly. And then people are going to ape in, and then the market's going to have a little bit of a pullback. You're going to get out, lose money. Then it's going to launch again. You got to get your damn strategy in order and understand that this market is primed for the best opportunity in the history of our lives. And we do not want to mess this up. Do not mess this up. Now, coming back into this, we're seeing some magic brewing in these charts. Let's get back over to where we were. But this is what we're looking at. Aggregated open interest of Bitcoin futures, top exchanges, 90-day percent change. What the hell is this talking about? This is talking about that huge change in open interest, the amount of derivatives that go on the market. Now, why do we care about that if we just want to trade? We just want to make some money. We want to get it. I don't want to pay attention to open interest and interest rate cuts and the FOMC and the CPI and the PCE, the PCI. Well, tune in here because I'll keep you in the know. But the reason it's important to understand these things is because if you get price action going into a level, for instance, when we're looking at the levels that we're looking at, like right here, if price action pushes into this level and open interest goes through the roof, and the open interest is predominantly long positions, that's a recipe for a reversal. Now, why the hell would it be a recipe for a reversal if everybody's going long? Because the market is here to take the money of those that are not protecting their capital. If everybody's going long, then what happens is you get a funding rate that's very positive, which also encourages people that want to take shorts to short the market. This is how they bring some balance into the market. Now, that funding rate isn't going to be the only thing that's going to cause a reversal. What's going to cause a reversal is when we look at this, let me reload this. When you're looking at these liquidation heat maps, what you're essentially seeing, this is on 24 hours, let's go to 3 days. What you're essentially seeing is liquidity zones that start stacking up above or below. Now, if these liquidity zones are stacking up below, these are long positions that have estimated areas of where they will be liquidated. So this is free liquidity if the price action get pushed down into here. If this starts pushing up into here, you see how all this gets more yellow, brighter, brighter, brighter? This is because there's a lot of people that were shorting. So now we have a liquidity zone both above and below us. And what will happen is when the price action pushes up, clears this 65,000. Remember this level we've been talking about for a couple weeks now. 65K is a key level because it identifies an actual change in structure for what we've seen. We have a high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This is a higher low. This is only considered a higher low once this breaks past this previous range high. If we actually have a higher low followed by a higher high, now this is starting to show signs of that reversal. Now the flip side of that, or the next layer on that, is once this does break above this, and I think it's likely to happen this week, if this is able to break through this, if we get a massive influx of liquidity below us because everybody's going long, that creates incentive for large players out there. Because remember, we still have a very small, of course, there's several, 180 million or something people out there that are buying and trading Bitcoin. The engagement that's in this market is so low that you all are here. I'm here. There's some, other players that have been around, but most of the people are just kind of waiting for the market to start really moving, which means there's not a huge amount of liquidity, active volume liquidity on a daily basis that can really prevent price action movement one direction or another, because there's a lot of activity on it. Now, if everybody's going long all of a sudden, then these bigger players, and remember, it's great that we got BlackRock and Fidelity, and now remember, this is now bringing in massive institutional players that are not even buying ETFs, but they're actually just trading the options market, CME futures, and so on and so forth. They can push the market the other direction and take that liquidity. So while I'm super bullish, I just want to urge some caution because there's some work to be done before it goes. Now, is it time to buy? 100% yes. This is not financial advice. This is strategy advice. It's time to buy if you have the conviction that if you're buying now to hold until October 2025, yeah, you shouldn't be looking at a 15-minute chart, 4-hour chart, daily chart anyway. You should be looking at a weekly or above chart and know that that's what you're doing. If you're buying for this next major run over the next many months, then the last 6 months has been a time to buy. So yes, it's time to buy. If you are trading and actively in the charts on 15-minute charts, hour charts, 4-hour charts, scalping and taking small little swing trades, then I would argue right now it's becoming time to be looking for longs, not getting super excited about trying to take okay, you bought a long, buy short. No, stop that nonsense. We're getting into that window because there's going to be a moment where you're going to go long, you're going to go short because that's what that range has been doing. And then it just reverses and completely eats up that liquidity that you have there. I'm looking for longs right now. And again, this is not financial advice. This is strategy advice. And look at this. We're getting a little bit of a dump right now. Okay. Does that mean we short it? No. Okay. Let's look at this on the CoinW page. This is looking, it's looking a little head and shoulders-y. Boom, boom. So do I short this? No, I'm going to say, okay, this is very ugly, but maybe I look for a target. This is on the 15-minute. Maybe I look for a target. I would say potentially here. Look at this. This is actually great because look at this high here, this bounce here, this bounce here. The next level down, I would say this kind of zone right in here. This zone, 62 to 61,000. This would be a great opportunity to take a pretty strong position. I would expect, so long as we don't get some sort of context or narrative change in the short term time being. We just pumped 20, 30% across the board. Not the time to long. Well, I'm glad that you said that. Maybe you misunderstood what I was saying. It's time to look for longs. It doesn't mean go long right now. It means look for the opportunities for the price to come into a zone that you want to long from. Now, if this doesn't break below this and this does bounce up from here and we clear this level If we clear this 65 level, what I'd be looking for is a price action coming up into this. And then when we do have a little bit of a pullback, does it find support back again on the 65 and show signs of a reversal, and then finding along on that breakout there? So my point is, looking for the opportunities for longs to present themselves right now, I think is the name of the game. If you are looking for a position trade into next year, then I think generally anywhere in this region is likely a fairly strong buy, so long as you have conviction to mind your manners and hold that as that position. Now, similarly, we also see Bitcoin is dancing on the Gaussian channel track. Bitcoin has reclaimed the mid band of the channel in red background. You can see this is what talking about flips red. Same thing right here. This is what was this? The end of last summer. What happened? Came down, flipped red, and then immediately launched out of this. Okay, we came down, we tested the bottom side of the range, flipped red. It's going to be kind of all eyes on everything happening right now within this market, because I think we're about to get into some very exciting times. Let's go ahead and close. I'm going to bookmark this for later. Now close that. We got this. Now let's looking at all these altcoins. I think from this moment on, you have at least a 4 to 6 months to change your life. What is Mustache saying here? This is also something Drew's been talking about in Blockchain Basement, and that is finding positions before they absolutely just run away. It's not time to be layering into altcoins in 4 months, 6 months. If you're looking for positions on altcoins that you can hold over a period of time and have them just boom, 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 just collectively just be running, then we're kind of entering that zone, which is essentially just like we saw back here 2020. This previous range low, this rejection. We broke above it, found support, created this little slightly downtrend, almost bull flag here. The breakout, this zone is essentially kind of where we've entered right now with altcoins. And so what we see here, similarly, look, previous range low. We didn't really get the bumps up into this, but we got it right here. Now we've retested the zone. We're starting to break out. And most importantly, what is a signal that is agreeing with just looking at the price action? Because you don't want to just say price action. You don't want to look at just RSI. You don't want to look at the BitLab trading stack. You want to see what is a concert of data that is either in agreement with each other, or are there things that are disagreeing? In this case, we see the price action pushing up, having the downtrend, finding support here, breaking out. But at the same time, we see, look, downtrend on the RSI, breaking out. Same thing we saw over here. Downtrend price action, RSI, breakout. So we're starting to see the signals that something awesome may be coming. We've got 457 people in the room right now between Twitter and YouTube. Shout out to everybody that is here. I do want to say how much I appreciate you all being here. I do also want to say thank you to our channel partners, Arculus. This channel is powered by Arculus. Make sure you're protecting your crypto. Make sure you're protecting your future. I know 5 people in the last about 8 days that have had some sort of hack happened within their systems, within their crypto, etc. Make sure that you head over to getarculus.com, get an Arculus, use code LAB10, LAB10, the best crypto cold storage solution. It protects you because you have to have that card, as you see there. You also have the app on your phone, and you also have your biometrics and your PIN number. So it doesn't matter if you lose a card, doesn't matter if you lose your phone. Hopefully you don't lose your face. But point being is it doesn't keep your keys on any of these. These are all basically aggregated across. You need all 3 or 4 different security mechanisms in order to access the crypto. It's my favorite. One tap, swap, trade, store. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10. Now, continuing on here, let's get back into the liquidity. Let's get down onto the 24 hours. What's going on here? Okay, why is price moving down? Well, if you're looking at nothing else and you just want to say, where's free liquidity in the market? Where's free liquidity in the market? Where are the very bright zones on this chart? Very bright zone right below us, because a lot of people went long here. Oh, it's going up. Okay, these are the liquidation zones. So whether or not they get liquidated or not is irrelevant. As price action comes further and further down, because people, they didn't just long here. They could have longed up here, depending on what their different leverage was, whether it's 3x, 5x, 10x, 100x, etc. But it's starting to stack in to this zone directly below $63,000. that people got a little too exuberant. So let's go down there, take their money, and then the price action can resolve to the upside. This is what it's looking like right now. So what does that look like when we're looking at the chart? Let's get down into the 1 hour, double click here. Okay, we're sitting right on that shelf, 63.5, 63,000 is right here in this range low, but we also have this rising level of support in here that comes right down here. Look at that, 62,927. I didn't draw this line because of that liquidity. I drew the line because of the price action, and it happens also to line up with what's going on in this liquidity. So it's 63.1 all the way down to, look at that, 62.8. Where does that transgress? 62.8 all the way up in here to 63. I mean, these things, when you start seeing things line up and agree with each other, it starts giving you a better idea of what's likely. So this is telling me there is weakness going on in this chart. 1 hour time frame. Momentum's rolled over. Stochastics are starting to inch over. RSI is down kind of flat. Let's get a little bit better resolution, 24-minute. So yeah, you see stochastics rolling over. Red, neutral, red. 4 out of the 6 quick look signals here on the dashboard, here on the BitLab trading stack, which you can get right over there at lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. You can sign up, become a part of it's basically 15 days free to be a part of our Discord. And there's a ton, you guys, there's so many different chart signals, member streams, so much going on there. But also, as soon as you sign up for that, the next page is an upgrade option if you want to get the indicators, which is this BitLab trading stack where you get the money flow, the momentum waves. You can see when there's high buying pressure or selling pressure, the VWAP, this quick look dashboard, as well as the BitLab intelligence, which gives you these signals here, showing you that a trend shift was in order. Look at that, flat, and then look, 3 bearish divergences down. We're trying to get some bullishness here. 2 more bullish divergences, 3 more bullish divergences, but it's getting rejected right here in this dynamic resistance zone, coming down, losing this weekly VWAP, my favorite signal on this yellow line. This is telling me that there's a high likelihood this is coming down. But what does the BitLab volume say? This is also part of the BitLab trading stack. We came right up into this order block, this red block on the chart, automatically paints for you. Tapped right into it, rejected back down. Lost the trend signal line, came down, found support where? Right on the weekly VWAP. Kind of a little wick down. It tried to push back up, but now we have an order block above. We're tapping this liquidity in this order block below where a lot of orders entered the order book right here to defend this area. If we lose this area, then I do think we're coming down to this $62,900 mark. So that's what we're looking at within this. Now, coming back over to some of these signals, for instance, I do want to just note that on the Bitcoin to S&P 500, I always got to click this 6 times. I still haven't figured out why. We have this mass sell-off right here in the S&P 500. Push back up, little choppy zone right up into the zone, break into new all-time highs. Bitcoin's still traveling very, very sideways. It's going to be interesting to see now that we got the rate cuts. There's still contention. Rate cuts have meant in the past sometimes that about, anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks after those rate cuts, during that, you get this nice little sort of initial sort of bullish impulse, almost like a bull trap, only to have a pretty big downturn in traditional markets. Now, is this going to play out the same way this time? Is the new liquidity injections coming in? We saw already $1.4 trillion plus in the last week. We also see China printing. We see, is this going to create this sort of soft landing effect everybody's debating? We're going to have to wait and see. This is why markets are so exciting. There is not an answer. There's only knowledge, tools, and probabilities, and just taking a shot. This is why you have to manage your risk along the way. But similarly, when we look at what's going on with capital flow, we've seen did kind of tap down here right into the red. Does that mean it's over? Well, let's look back here. Halving happened right here. We got a little impulse up, back into the red. And then we had that very large launch. I think this cycle is going to look a lot more like this 2017 cycle, though. You see this sort of arc of negative flow, basically money coming out of this asset class. Now we see large impulse up, comes back down, taps the red. Impulse up, taps the red. Impulse up, taps the red. Now we finally have the halving. But look at this. Large impulse up, taps the red. Tapping the red does not mean the end of the market. It means you get this large impulse and you get a corrective movement. And then this happened 5 or 6 times all the way till we got the all-time high. So what we've seen right here is we got the large impulse up, similar to what we see kind of in this zone here, coming back to reset. Are we in for that next impulse to the upside? Well, what does it look like with these big money players getting involved? Let's look at this ETF tracker. Man, BlackRock back to strong buying. Look at that, 0,000 last week. Now 182. Now 1,500 Bitcoin from BlackRock. 787, 415, 393, 2621. Long story short, we're back into strong buyership, and these Bitcoin spot ETFs, they're about to crack that 1 million Bitcoin mark. The best thing that you can do as somebody that is a proponent of this space is to buy and self-custody your Bitcoin, because I think in 5 years' time, the majority of people that are holders of Bitcoin or holders of Bitcoin exposure, I think the majority of people are going to have access through ETFs. You want to truly be a renegade in the system and control your future? Buy and self-custody. And this is what I really like to see. This is those flows, what we're seeing all up here, mapped out over time since January 10th, the day it launched. Remember, we had that initial impulse up, and then we had a week or two of oh my God, it's over. And then look at this, just positive inflow with these little sort of dips, little sell-off periods. But we've kind of coiled into the zone. I do think this looks like a giant sort of symmetrical triangle, very oblong. But I do think once this starts to break out, I think we're going to have some impulses that are going to even eclipse this one over here. We're going to be seeing massive flows when we come into 2025, Q1, Q2, Q3. So let's pay attention to what's going on here. But this looks like the bearishness of these outflows on ETFs is sort of exhausted at the moment. I do think also everybody's kind of trying to front run this new liquidity that's coming in, as well as what's happening with this big date at the beginning of November. But as it stands right now, man, this time just absolutely evaporated away. I'm going to scroll back. I saw some of we're going to do some Turbo TA here. Turbo TA, MATIC looking like it's finally getting a little bit of a move outside of this descending trend line that we've had back here since March 15th, March 13th. Market cycle top in all the market, right? But we did get an impulse up, came back down, but we are trying to break out here. But look at these giant order blocks. We need to get through the 42 cents and the 46 cents before we can really start making strong headway to the upside. If we do get another move to the downside, I'd like to hold 39 cents because that is this trend signal line right here. But we also saw SEI making moves, making money moves. Look at this nice move to the upside. This actually looks a lot to me. Let's turn off the indicators. This looks a lot to me also like what Tau looks like when you come over here. Where's Tau at? Boom. See this? Very similar, sort of choppiness on the bottom, creating basically inverted head and shoulders. And then boom, all the way up here, testing this previous range. Things are setting up. They're looking good. Stacks also rounding out, starting to I have this giant spider web. I don't know if you guys can see it. This giant spider web has been floating above my eyeballs. But this needs to crack this zone, this 196 to 204 range. And then we start to actually we're going to look at 235, but things are starting to look like it's not fully there yet. But the structure of reversal is being present all over the market. We also see this on the others chart, the top 10, crypto market cap, excluding top 10, breaking out of this zone, this descending channel that we have here, testing this previous range high, these lows. If we can clear this, we'd like to see this break out, come back, test this, then continue. We do have positive money flow on this as well. Cardano also coming up, testing, still lower than this high. We want it to at least potentially consolidate a little bit here and then start breaking out. We still need to clear 41 cents to continue on to the upside. But Link also, they're all these coins are looking very similar. Avalanche, everything's waiting on that next impulse to absolutely bull rocket ship this up to the upside. Now, I do want to say I'm going to be heading over to the Mario Nafal Twitter Spaces here right after this, but I want to shout out again, if you are tuned in on YouTube or on Twitter, come over to this page right here. I'm going to share it in the live chat. If you're watching on Twitter, then all you have to do is right below it, hit that retweet button, hit that like button, share some love, get involved. And by the way, again, if you want to get involved with the full crypto education, head over to that link that you see right there, lab.bitlabacademy.com /deal. That deal is going away after we break the all-time high again at $74,000. It's 15 days free, plus about 30% off for the life of your account. You can also choose to upgrade to get the indicators and also the courses and all that sort of stuff in there. Again, if you want the free trading signals and everything going on there, that link is directly below this page right here. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure your notifications are on. As you saw last night, went live impromptu with Matthew Hyland. Those of you that saw this, you had your notifications on, you got in the know. But the free traders group is right here. Get into Telegram. Use this link right here. You sign up to CoinW, deposit $100, you get bonuses, and we have all the trading signals and a lot more stuff coming in there. But that for today, everybody, that's all I got. I got to head over to the Mario Nafal space. I love you dearly, every one of you. Now, this is going to automatically send you, if you're on YouTube, over to the blockchain basement. Let's all drop 4 BitLab coats and say, Lab Coats Unite. Let's say that. Let's get in there. That's all I got, everybody. Adios, muchachos.